What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks NBA Finals Game 3. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods, my friends. Oh, my friends. It's one. The Miami Heat equalized it. And hey, that premium betting card of mine, I'm kind of proud that I broke even on it because there were some landmines in that game. I know a lot of people, public, they were all about that Denver money, although I thought plus 8.5. If I had to lean a direction, that's where I would have gone in that game too. Glad to be staying away. And hey, the big stay away for me was Nikola Jokic triple-double. Ended up putting a unit on over 27.5 points for Nikola Jokic. That worked out nicely as he nuked that basketball game offensively, shooting it, but of course, Denver loses a close one there at home. Wild stuff. I'm going to talk about some bench presence, some bench things to be paying attention to heading into that game 3. We saw Kevin Love added to the starting unit. I'll break down some things there that aren't necessarily on the betting card, but as always, you're going to get my lean, like, and lock. That is something I'm thinking about betting, something that I'm betting a little bit, and something that is my lock, my favorite bet that exists from game 3. Well, if you guys wanted to avoid some of those landmines yourself, you can get those 2 months free of Odd Shopper Discord access. That is myself, Ben Raza, Eitan Shander, so many great analysts, so little time for you to jump in there. So go to that video description box below. And if you haven't checked out BetMGM, not only do they have some of the best numbers for certain bets, whether that's over total bases, I tell you what, there are no better markets to be jumping in than BetMGM for the total bases market. They have so many great numbers in the PGA streets for this weekend at the Canadian Open and the already posted US Open odds. So many great opportunities to make some money over at BetMGM, and they have this great deal going where if you bet up to $1,000, so you could bet $10, $50, $100, doesn't matter what it is. If you win that bet, you keep the money. If you lose that bet, you get that money back in your account in bonus bets. That's a great deal, up to $1,000. Take advantage of that to the fullest extent you can, mainly because that's how you make money off these sports books right from the get-go. It's how you build and sustain a bankroll. So I know a lot of you have DraftKings, FanDuel Sportsbook, both of those, totally understood, but BetMGM, that would be your best in command next to those two for sure. It's only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, lot to talk about here on this. Miami looking to go up 2-1 in this series. What a time to be alive. Producer Alicia, let's get to the picks. Let's start with the obvious, shall we? What in the F? Really? What? Has there ever been a nobody believes in us basketball team in an NBA Finals quite to the extent? Well, I would say Cleveland first go around against Golden State, and then sure enough, they did not win, but that is what it is. I think this has got to be the biggest, most lopsided type W that we're talking about. That game 2, 8.5, 9-point spread, depending on where you were looking. Miami goes and wins it 111-108, and I'm going nowhere near this total. It continues to be the most efficient thing that God has ever created. So just throwing it out there. However, we are looking at a spread of 2.5. We'll be talking about that one here in this program in some capacity. So yeah, you got 2.5-point favorites are the Denver Nuggets. Pretty wild to see the discrepancy between home and road in some of these splits, but totally makes sense. And well, what doesn't make sense to me is how flat the Denver Nuggets looked. They had to get some actual good minutes in that first half from Christian Brown to look competitive. Now, Michael Porter Jr., where you at, bro? What are we doing? How many times can you lose sight of a dude in Gabe Vincent who you'd get switched onto and let him just knock down open threes? 4 for 6 from 3. Miami goes 48.6% from 3, shot 48.7% total from the field, which when there's only 0.1% difference between the two, gonna say you're probably gonna lose some basketball games, and people can call this unsustainable shooting. I think that's probably an accurate assessment. But he still saw Denver. We kind of focused in game 1, coming off of game 1, how poorly Denver shot the basketball. Should have probably been saying the same thing on the Miami Heat side. Got lucky not to be betting anything there on the Denver side. Thought it was a lot to be hanging up in a game 2 where Eric Spoelstra goes back in the lab and makes adjustments. I like his coaching. I think his pedigree is just better than it is of Mike Malone. Not that Malone is some kind of terrible basketball coach, but we've seen routinely them have struggles in the postseason making adjustments. And I think it has more to do with their bench and their roster construction than it is anything else. Take, for instance, Michael Porter Jr., a player who's 6'10", has all the physical gifts of a good defender, just couldn't guard you or me. Losing track of Gabe Vincent, not having the opportunity to basically put him in a corner and hide him, it's going to be problematic. And I don't know what to make of Michael Porter Jr.'s minutes here. I think the books did a pretty good job of kind of middling what it would be like for him to play 26 or 36 minutes. I think it's going to be a stay away for me as of right now. But if the public starts pulling one way or the other, I think I could probably jump in and take advantage of some of those numbers. But the big thing, we got to talk about it from that last game. Haywood Highsmith just plays 6 minutes. Kevin Love jumps back into the starting lineup over, I mean, you're just looking at Caleb Martin, who, well, he had sickness. He was not feeling good there. Now, do they just continue to? I would assume Kevin Love continues to start, but it should at least bear repeating that I don't think it got talked about enough that Caleb Martin was sick entering that game, and that's why you saw that shift in the lineup. Now, it ended up working out nicely. 22 minutes there from Kevin Love. Played more minutes than his typical rotation that you had seen in a couple of these other series where he'd play 8 minutes first half, 8 minutes second half, both starts of the first and third quarter, and then he would disappear into the abyss, never to be heard from again, except for the closeout game up in Milwaukee in that game 5. So just looking through some of the numbers there, wanted to try to take advantage of that too, but those seem efficient. However, I find the studs to be the ones that are kind of inefficient here, and I'm leaning towards Bam Adebayo's points prop as well, but he's the one who's been playing really good basketball here of late. It's Jimmy Butler who's fallen a little bit by the wayside. 7 for 19 from the field last time out, 21 points, got to the line a little bit after 2 free throws. We're talking about 2 free throws from the entire Miami Heat team in game 1. You got Jimmy Butler to the line 5 times. That's at least improvement. I think that a home crowd environment perhaps can lean into the narrative that you could say that maybe he gets a couple of more calls to go his way or something of that nature, but felt like pretty fair officiating. I think people were torching the officiating a little bit too much. I mean, it can't be said enough. If you're going to let two teams play physical basketball, you're going to be missing certain calls from both ends of the floor. I thought it seemed pretty fair, and that's not just me as somebody. I'm more than happy to torch officiating when it's completely dog shit, and most of the time it is. But big news on the Miami Heat side too as well. We were expecting Tyler Hero to be playing for game 3. He was ruled out right before this program started. Want everybody to understand Tyler Hero will not be playing basketball. So you're looking at the same rotations, same offensive capabilities that you're going to need from Gabe Vince and Caleb Martin. But it really has got to start working for Jimmy Butler if they want to win this series. He was only +3 in plus minus last game in 40 minutes. They went on a crazy run without him on the floor. We're talking about every other Heat player was +14 or better. The starters, that was +14 or better in terms of plus minus. I think Jimmy Butler, I think he takes things a little bit personally. I think we are looking at an inferno. Now, I hope this number moves to 23.5, but it's gone from 27.5. We didn't bet it. 26.5, didn't bet it. I am thinking about betting the over at 24.5 at home here. It's a tough spot. I also could see Michael Porter Jr. getting taken off the floor, and that's probably a 10% outcome, I would say, where you're looking at perhaps the possibility of Michael Porter Jr. not starting. Put Bruce Brown out there to start, light a fire under him, bring him off the bench. Not something that I expect to happen, but just saying, like 1 out of 10 kind of an outcome. At least something to pay attention to, and that would make me dislike this a little bit more because I want Michael Porter Jr. and his dumb defense on that floor. All right. Let's go to the light category, shall we here? I think this is a very clear-cut spot where I want to jump back in on the Denver side of it. I don't know what the public's going to be doing here come tip-off. Seems as though they're a little bit more on my side of the read of this game than I would like, because again, the books, they're pretty good at throwing out these numbers. They're more efficient. That's why we focus quite a bit on the player prop side of things when it comes to these NBA finals and basically these NBA playoffs in general. But I gotta like Denver -2.5 here. I think they play a lot better. On the road, it's gonna be a hostile environment, as much as Miami can be. I mean, their lives aren't that difficult. I'm sure they're gonna be pissed off about humidity. It's about the only thing they can complain about. The food's fantastic. Nightlife's just decent, I suppose. It's okay. I've had some fun in Miami. Either way, -2.5 Denver side of things. Let's get ourselves down and boogie woogie. Pretty sure this is the side of it you want to be on. Now, If you want to throw your parlays together with things, I would prefer you go towards the money line. Just avoid this hook altogether. But I bet my things outright 99.9%. Oh, 98.6% of the time. 98.6 degrees in your mouth, too. That was the gum commercial once upon a time. Nobody cares. Denver -2.5 needs to be on your card. I want it to be on your card because I think it's just a half unit play, straightforward. And I don't put a lot of these outright numbers on your card, so you should take note of them when you do. I have this being more of a 4.5 to 5 point spread, even on the road here. I think Denver really rebounds, and I think Jamal Murray finds himself to actually competency. That's good enough. So we're going to do that. But first, we got to jump ourselves to another ad read. We have Manscaped along for the ride, my friends. Look at this. The claw. Yeah, we're bringing some Toy Story into it. But if you want to play with your toy in a nice way, we got Manscaped, my friends. It will take care of everything you need down below. If you are going on that date of a lifetime, if you are just simply trying to give your wife a treat, if you're trying to take care of yourself, utilize this promo code right now. We have promo code Stochastic going on with Manscaped, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do. You're landscaping your Manscaped situation. And there are so many great kits we have going over with them right now. 20% off using promo code Stochastic that will be applied at checkout, plus free shipping. Oh, it really all comes down to the Lawnmower 4.0 for me. The groin and body grooming trimmer. This thing does not nick you. It does not nick Van Exel, your down Exel. You got to take advantage of this promo, and you got to take advantage of trying out this razor. It will change everything you know about the game. Everything. Now, do not use the razors that nick and cut you. Take advantage of this thing, because that, combined with the Crop Preserver and the Crop Reviver for the Perfect Package 4.0, is the luxury grooming kit you have been looking for. Feeling really nice here today on this hot summer day, simply because I took care of my hay. So there you go, 20% off right now using promo code Stochastic. Let's get ourselves to the lock, shall we? Let's just keep it rolling, producer Alicia. Here we go. That's her favorite, of course. And I love Manscaped. So check out all of their great stuff, just like you should check out the lock section. Was there any doubt? We just saw some major line shifts across the board with some of these studs, but I don't think anything could have really prepared me for what we saw from Nikola Jokic in terms of triple-double odds shifting. We went from -135, and now we moved 55 cents in the same matchup where everybody was guaranteeing triple doubles. I should have taken no, but I didn't have the balls, because Manscaped, I'm taking care of them so nicely. That's what it is. But my friends, we are back on the Nikola Jokic triple double bandwagon. Plus 120, best available number as it opened over at BetMGM. I would be shocked if this thing didn't start moving. And I get the points prop has moved to 28.5, 29.5 everywhere. I get the whole the Shelburne thing where she's asking the question to Eric Spoelstra, and it's, oh, are you trying to make Jokic a scorer? Are you trying to do this? Are you trying to do that? And he's saying, no, to the untrained eye, yada, yada, yada. I don't give a shit about any of that. I care about numbers on a page, my friends. And Nikola Jokic is going to be playing 40-plus minutes. They do not want to go down 2-1 or 3-1 in this stint here in Miami. I could see a lot of scenarios where Jokic, who played 42 minutes, plays 44, 46 minutes here in this game 3. It's going to be a short window. You have Wednesday, a game for game 3, and then you have Friday for a game 4, which I think plays away from perhaps Jokic playing every single minute of the entire game. Now, you have to also take into account that Nikola Jokic, not the most fleet of foot, although he's still in much better shape than he gets credit for, even though he definitely looks like, your friendly neighborhood construction worker, your electrician coming in there, 7'1" and just fixing everything. Good with his hands. Great vision. It just comes down to numbers, friends. He averages on the regular season 25.7, 12.1 rebounds per game, and 9.9 assists per game in 34.5 minutes. If I add 8 to that, through the moon. And it has to do with the fact that it's plus 120 and not minus 135, because again, you need greater than 50% of the time him hitting that number, those kind of numbers. When you put plus money behind it, I need him to have a regular outcome to smash the number. Do you understand how this works? I'm not saying Nikola Jokic is going to triple-double every single time in these spots. I'm simply saying give me better than 50-50, and I'll bet it pretty much every single time, even in these slow-paced matchups against a team in the Miami Heat on the other side, who I think we recognize what they're doing. 96.3 possessions per 48 minutes during the regular season. They have carried that into just slow, grind it out, make you hate yourself basketball. That is what the Miami Heat are going to try to do. But then Jokic, I think he gets a little bit better opportunity here with Bruce Brown maybe playing more minutes. Michael Porter Jr. cannot play worse than what you saw in that one. And Jamal Murray, 3 for 8 from 3, only 15 shot attempts. I expect that to go up, up, up. Jokic to triple-double, your lock for Game 3. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on the board for this Game 3. Check out BetMGM. All of the great opportunities with them. Get 2 months free of that OddsShopper Discord access. I'll have my premium betting card in there. Come check it out. Come hang out with a great community of really sharp people talking through everything you could possibly imagine in the NBA, MLB, and more streets. Alrighty, y'all, I'll be back here for Game 4 coming up on Friday. That's going to be a wild one, especially if the Miami Heat find a way here in this one, but I do not expect it. Until next time, my friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Wednesday.